Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're working on the 1932 Aston Martin LM8 and we're ready to put the Torque-A-Verter on it and the chain. So I'm going to go over a couple of things on the Torque-A-Verter that may not be common knowledge. There's information out there on the internet, but I'll tell you what you need to know. So here we go. So I've already got the Torque-A-Verter mounted on the motor and clocked to match up with our chain. You look down there, the chain, well, the motors aren't quite lined up, but the chain is. Will be once we mount the motor, and right now it's all loose. But I've got it clocked almost vertical, or excuse me, horizontal. There's several other mounting positions. There's these other bolts you can use to clock it. There's 4 bolts on your motor, and you tighten those down with these locking washers, and that holds this part in place to your motor. So the next part, everything else goes on this shaft. And when you receive this, this should already be assembled, so nothing else to do there. So when you receive your Torque-A-Verter, whether you buy Comet or somebody else's brand, I recommend using a Comet belt. That's the part number that this fits. This is asymmetrical, meaning the belt has one side that's got an angle on it. There's an angle here, and flat on this side. So there's the part number. This Torque-A-Verter came to me used, and this little piece was missing. The guy that built the previous cart this came off of this. Sometimes these burn up. The belt rubs on them, and it just wears them out, and then they go away. So it's a replacement part. That's the part number. You can find these on the internet anywhere. So here's all the pieces and parts that come with it. This part basically just slides right down inside there. This part has these little flat spaces on it that match up with this flat space. It goes on there. But before you do that, and if you got an older one especially, you want to maintenance it. So order some of this. It's designed for the Comet Torque-A-Verter. It's a lubricant. It's a dry film lubricant. So there's a few places you spray it. I spray it on the inside of this area. I'll spray it on here. This is where this little collar rolls. You want to keep it off the surfaces that touch the, you want to keep this area clean. This is where your belt rubs. You don't want this on this surface or on the outside of this, or on the back side up here. You want to keep this area clean. But you're going to lubricate this piece here. This has already been sprayed. It's kind of a dark gray color. So you lubricate that, and you lubricate down the side of here. Again, keeping the lubricant off the surfaces that touch your belt. I even did inside here. Probably not necessary because nothing really rubs in. This is just where the springs ride on that area. So let's get this thing installed. Okay, so after your Torque-A-Verter is mounted, the mounting place mounted to the motor, you're going to slide this little spacer on here on the shaft that goes in there to space away all the business parts away from the motor itself. So the first part that goes on is this flat plate. It's got a little keyway in there already. So it's going to go on the keyway of the motor. Find the keyway and then put this brass part on. Next thing to go on is going to be your belt. So there's an inside and an outside. It says this side to engine. That doesn't seem terribly complicated, does it? It's surprising how many times I see it done wrong. So you put it on there first and you pull it over your little brass part. So that's that. Next thing to go on is this part here. Actually, you're going to put this on first, because this goes on the keyway. Remember, that flat side goes out. I'm going to put that on the keyway. We're going to slide this onto there. I'm going to slide it around until it slips in. There's that. And then your outer part, I'm going to line up the flat pieces on there. Slide it out a little bit to try to get that in there. You can also do just like that, pull it all together. That way it slides and actually makes contact with those flat pieces. The belt will keep it from going all the way, and then you put your bolt in. This is not terribly complicated. Once that's on there, we'll give that a little snugness. Okay, that's it. That's installed. So that's all there is to it. Torque-A-Verter is installed. So now let's do the chain. Okay, so I chose to go with the number 35 chain. I did that because they're thinner. The number 40, 41 chains are much wider, and sometimes you have to modify your Torque-A-Verter to make them fit. This comes with a master link. So there's that little deal there. So these have to be cut to fit. So you'll need a chain breaker. If you don't already have a chain breaker, that's what one looks like. This is for number 35. I've used it for the number 40, but it's not really designed to do both, I don't believe. It struggles to do the number 40, but does the number 35 just fine. So we're going to go put this on the cart and find out how many links we got to take out. Okay, so I put the chain on the cart and found the spot where I need to cut it. So I just put the tool right on the chain. I'll flip it out so you can kind of see. You really can't see it very well, but there's a little rod in there. As I twist this down, it pushes that rod and pulls the little pin out of the bottom. So let me see if I can do this with the camera going here. Okay, so we're just going to twist this deal. It's going to push the chain, or the little pin out of the bottom of the chain here. There it goes. It's starting to push it through now. So we got to do it on two sides here to get the top part broken free. Go over this other one here. Okay, just pushed it through, unwind it a little bit. There's that. You see that chain is starting to come out of there. So what I did a minute ago is I just took a pair of pliers and pried that out of there because it didn't want to go all the way out. It's like this chain is really tight, so I'm going to run this one down one more time. I used an extra master link I had laying around earlier and just kind of pulled it together to pull these out. Let's see if that does anything for us. There we go. It's just about out of there. That one's free. This one doesn't matter too much because it's on the other side, but there we go. Oh, that's the wrong way with it. Hands are getting all slippery from all the oil on the chain here. It's alright. We can figure it out. Run that back in a little bit. Well, this side doesn't matter anyway, we're not using this side, but just wanted to show you how it works, how it's sticking out there like that. I'm just taking the old master link, shoving it in there, and then I'm going to use it to kind of press it through. There it goes. Just like that. Okay, cool. Let's go test it out and see if it fits. Okay, I got the chain sitting on here. I got plenty of clearance. You can see down by the chain here, there's clearance along these ribs. So if you see right here, those little, the aluminum rib on the side of the Torque-A-Verter sometimes interferes with the chain, and this one is just fine, no problem there. So I've got the master link sitting in the chain here, and sometimes I drop these. I'll try to do this with one hand if I can. Slides on like that, and then this little dude, the locking piece, you want to put the back of it, the rounded part, in the direction of travel. So this thing spins this direction, so basically make it face the back, the front of the cart, so it doesn't sling it off. If you put it this way, forward torque of the motor, sometimes as this torques forward, your pin can come popping out. So put it the opposite direction when you're installing your pin on the master link, or clip rather. Keep calling it a pin, clip. Anyway, so there's that. I think that is the end of this video. This was short and sweet. This was just the Torque-A-Verter and the chain installation. You can see on the Duesenberg here, I've got some framing on there, getting ready for the body work. Waiting on a few things to get in. I'm waiting on a steering wheel to get the cowl done. And that's coming along pretty good. So you can kind of see the shape this car is going to have. And we got the seat sitting over there on the table waiting to go. So thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions about CycleKarts or anything we're doing on these videos, feel free to let us know. Thanks for watching.